How long was your marriage?
A year. Oh, you wanna know where we at? Right there.
Oh yeah! We talked about sending our theoretical future children all the time. I actually had an
Where do single men between the ages of 28 and 40 go on Saturdays? And I don't mean like a specific restaurant or a specific location. I mean generally speaking. Are they at the gym? Are they at a bar watching football? Are they on a hike? Are they at home doing additional work? Are they at the driving range? Are they getting brunch with their friends? What does a 28 to 40-year-old single man's typical Saturday look like? Because I can tell you what a Saturday for a 28 to 40-year-old single woman looks like. As part of my like fall of outdoors, I'm trying to integrate experiences where I get to meet the male species. Every time that I've tried to do that, the places that I end up tend to be proliferated with 24-year-old men screaming at a television about football. For example, my Saturday looks like this. I wake up, I take my dog on a walk, I try to get in a gym class of some sort, Pilates, some kind of stretching class, I take a shower, make a cup of coffee, make my breakfast, and then I try and do about 2 hours of either work or personal like errands. And then from about 12 p.m. until approximately 5 p.m. I try and do something social with my friends. We'll go to a bar to watch a football game, go to the beach for the afternoon, whatnot. And then I typically stay in on Saturday night, order in DoorDash, watch a movie, have a glass of wine, and go to bed. That's the male equivalent of that, so I know where to find you guys during the period of 12 to 5.
Weren't you the one saying that men should not exist and they are trash, and you are well off without them? Then what happened? That suddenly you want a man? My guess is that either reality has set in, or you need someone to blame for all your problems.
How old are you?
24.
Are you single?
I'm married.
You're married?
Yeah, I'm divorced.
You're divorced at 24.
Yeah.
How long was your marriage?
A year.
How long did you know him prior?
4 years. We went to Vegas and got married. We eloped.
So why commit to this man to only separate a year in?
Oh no, it wasn't me. I committed to him because I was ready for it. I knew what I wanted.
But he wasn't.
Wait, why did you file for divorce?
I didn't. He did.
Why did he file for it?
Because he likes to be a...
Could you see yourself getting remarried?
I hope so. I hope so one day I find somebody that I can build a family with, yeah.
Why'd you do that?
That's my girlfriend.
Why'd you just jiggle her?
Yeah, oh, you wanna know where we at?
Right there.
So what do you think a man is going to think when he looks at this video and he sees your friend doing
I
that?
don't give a Keisha.
We don't care what
I really don't care.
Why don't you care?
Because it only matters what I care about myself.
Fuck 'em,
Nobody's gonna make me think differently.
Trust in God.
You think it's cool to come on here and say fuck a man?
I mean, that's how I feel, so yeah.
Now we know why he left you for good, because if he hadn't, then you would have leeched off him for the rest of his life. And the thing is that he was a fool for even getting married to you, as you have no qualities required to be a good life partner.
Hi darlings, let's talk about being nearly 30 but definitely being single. If you are new to my page, my TikTok, my name's Zoe, I'm 29 and I'm turning 30 in July, and I am single. I have been single now for 3 years. There was a little something in between, but honestly at this point it doesn't even count. I have kind of done my life a little bit backwards. Around 25 years old, I've been in a really long-term relationship. I bought a house with this guy, totally envisaged being together for the rest of our lives. Literally, when we bought our house, there was a nursery at the end of the road and we talked about sending our theoretical future children there. So this was very serious. But I had like a little bit of a midlife crisis. I think I felt like I was settling down way too early and way too young, and I just hadn't lived my life yet. We broke up. So I did have another relationship after that was very toxic and emotionally abusive. That's another story for another day. We now are where we are now, which is pretty much 3 years single and approaching 30 this summer. Am I a little bit broken? Am I at the point in my life where I've just kind of, I guess, maybe worried myself from being alone and also being burnt, that I just have put up blockers because I just find it easier to be on my own and reduce my likelihood of being hurt? Now, please don't get me wrong. I definitely don't feel positive about being on my own all the time. I actually had an experience at my stepsister's wedding. This was a few years ago, pretty much when I first became single as to where I still am today. And it was when it was the first dance song. And I've never dreaded it more in my life. But the reality was honestly so much worse than I actually thought it would be. Obviously, the couple went onto the dance floor, did their dance, and it gets to that bit where they invite everyone else onto the dance floor. And I'm not even joking. I looked around and every single person was in a couple and it was just me stood at the side. I was actually with like a little kid who was like a cousin of someone else in the family. and she was stood next to me kind of right at the beginning, and I was like, oh, like, let's go and dance together. Like, she was like 4 or something, and even she burst into tears, and I was like, brilliant. I stood there alone, literally burst into tears, and took myself to the bathroom to kind of sort myself out. It's moments like that where kind of like love and relationships and that kind of stuff is really forced in your face that can actually be quite hard. It's a wedding, like I expected that, but I don't think I expected it to hurt as much as it did.
Why is this a recurring theme among modern women? That whenever they are close to settling in with a guy, like buying a house, planning children, and other important aspects of life, they suddenly decide to leave their marriages and be single, when there is a ton of proof on the internet that the grass isn't greener on the other side.
This is a question for the men and the men only. What is the real reason that you've given up on dating altogether or haven't dated in 10 plus years? Every single day in my comment section, anytime I talk about dating or relationships or getting married, the majority of men in my comments are saying that they're no longer interested in dating, and I really want to know the reason. Like, what was the final straw for y'all to finally say, you know what, I had enough? Plus, there's this weird information going around that by 2030, like, heterosexual couples will be non-existent, people are not having babies and this and that. And do you think that's because men have stopped dating, or because women have stopped dating and people have equally stopped dating? Or is it because men are not pursuing women anymore? I'm really interested to see the comments or the duets on this post as to why y'all have stopped dating in the first place. Did you have a toxic ex? Did you go through a terrible divorce? Did she take everything? Or have you been on dates and they've just been so awful that you finally said, forget it? So what's the real reason that you gave up dating altogether? Okay.
I suppose she has been living under a rock, because every person is well aware of the reason as to why modern women are not worth dating anymore, or why men are walking away from them.
I had a man crying, screaming, and throwing up last night because he found out I was going on dates with other people. And then I said, well, it doesn't feel like you're pursuing me. And then he said, but I'd love to pursue you more. I just don't want to come off as clingy. And then I suggested he stand in his authenticity and show up as himself and declare how he feels about me. If he wants to know me better. I'm open to it. And he said, okay, let's talk tomorrow. Tomorrow is today. I haven't heard from him, and honestly, I'm so detached from dating now. So I'm just like going about my biz. I get a 2-minute voice note from him letting me know that actually he's not ready for a relationship, and he has to date casually right now. I don't give a shit, but do you see like how sometimes I feel like men have brain damage?